Good everyone, my name is Graphics. If you look at the top right corner of the screen, there's a problem on development where we are told to develop the given figure shown using triangulation. In this method of development, the surface is divided in numbers of triangles, right? So the first thing we have to do is for we to reproduce that figure at the top right corner of the screen. Now, we are shown on diagram that the plan, which is this that my arrow is showing you, has the width, the length to be 76. This shape in front of 76 is a square, meaning that all through both the length and the width is given as what? 76. So I'm going to draw that first. So if I come here, I'll take my instrument, pick up my pencil, and I'm going to draw this first of all, the horizontal, right? And I'll pick here, and I'm going to draw these two, the vertical. Now if you look at what I'm doing here, we're told along here is 76, along here also is 76, and half of 76 is what? 38, just like they're showing you here, 38. So I'm going to measure 38 to make my work easier. I'll measure 38 on my meter rule, this way, right? So when I place it here from 0, this is 30 and this is 38 here. You can see that. Then I'm going to place it at this point here. I'll mark 38, come to that 38, and mark another 38. I'll come on this point too. I'll mark 38, come to this point here also, mark another 38, because we know that 38 plus 38 will give us what? 76. So on that baseline there, I'm going to draw this way, and I'm going to draw this way. Since it is thickened, I am going to thicken it. Thicken this from here to here, and also I will thicken this from here to here, and also I'll close this up, and also I'll close this up. So I've drawn out the shape. Now we have from here to here 38, so I'm going to draw my center line to show it is the center. This way, long one, short, long, short, long, short, long. I'll come here also, I'll do the same thing too from here, and I just take it downward this way. So from here, I'm going to draw a long one, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, then long. You see that? Now, on the diagram, we're told that there's a circle in between, and the circle has a diameter of 48, which the radius of that diameter will give what? 24. So I'm going to take my meter rule, and I'm going to measure 24 from this. This is 20, right? And this is 24 here. You're taking? And I'll place it at the center here, where the vertical and horizontal line meet. And I'm going to draw a circle this way. I'll draw the circle this way. You can see that. And I am done with the plan. Is now to draw the elevation. At any given distance, I'll just draw a line this way. faint line first. You can see that. Then the height, that's what you're seeing here, is given as what? 54. So I'll come here and I'll measure 54 from 0 here to this point here. This is 50, this is 54 here. You can see that. Then I'll just draw another horizontal line at that point. Now I will project all those lines downward. I'll project this edge of the circle downward here. I'll project this edge also as a circle downward here. Then this outer one here, I'll project it from here, stop here with my faint line. And this here, I'll project it from here to come here with my straight line. Now I'm going to take it from here straight down here as shown in the diagram, and I'll take it from here straight down here. Then I am going to join the two ends this way. As shown on the diagram. Sorry. You see that? So now we have successfully reproduced what is in the top right corner of the screen, and this is our step 1. Our step 2 is for we to divide the circle into 12 equal parts. I can use my compass, right, which I've been showing you in my previous video, or I can use my set square. So I would like to use my set square here, or better still, let me use my compass. Now, if I take the radius of the circle, which is giving us 24, this way, you can see that. I'm going to mark up here. I'll come here also. I'm going to mark up here. With the same radius, I'll place a tip here. I'm going to mark left and what? And right. You can see that. Now I'll use my meter rule and target the center of this circle. So from this point, I'll pass it through the center to the other end. From this point, I'll pass it to the center to the other end. From this point, I'll pass it to the center to the other end. On this point, I'll pass it to the center to the other end. You can see that. That is the first step. Now I'm going to start naming. This will be 0, this will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 3, this will be 4, this will be 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then 0. Those points, I am going to project them with the help of my set square and my t-square. I'll project those points downward. So point 1, the next one is 2, the next one is 3, which is there already. Then we have 4, we have 5, then 6 is there. So this is my point 0, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, 5, and what? And 6. You see that? Then the next thing I'm going to do is to project all those points to this end of the circle of this shape here. This is for 3. This is for 2. This is for 1. Come here also. This is for 3. This is 4. this is 5, and that. You can see that? So I can easily say that this is A, starting from here, A. This will be B. This will be C, D, and E. Meaning I'm cutting my shape open from A, right? So I want to cut it open from this A here. So what I'll do next is to get a true shape, because these are the true shape of this point here, but we need the other true shape. For this case, this is what we'll do here. I will extend the base of this way. You can see that. And I'll place my compass at this point E here, 2.3. Now if you do that, you notice that point 3 and point 0 are on the same point. Point 3 and point 0 are on the same point. I'll come to 2 also. Point 2 and 1 are on the same point. You can see that? Why is it like that? Because it is a symmetrical object. Symmetrical in the aspect that as you cut this into two, what is in the left hand side is equal to what is in the right hand side. Now if I use my set square and my t square, I project those points downward from here this way. I project this point downward from here this way, and from here this way, right? So this will now be, I can easily call here to be my 1, my 3, or my 0, comma 3. You can see that? And here will be my 1, comma 2. So this point is for 1 and 2. This point is for 0 and 3, right? So I'm going to use my meter rule, right? Then I'll draw from this end here to come touch this end this way to get a true shape. Now touch from this end here to come to this end to get a true shape. So this is what we have. So the true shape of here from this point represents each of all these points here. So this is AEB. So this point will be what? A, comma E, comma B. This is just DC. So this will be what? C, comma what? Comma D. Is that okay now? Now, if I want to make any point, any true shape I want to get will be gotten from here. Now, the next thing you do, from each of this edge, you draw this to touch this point, then E to 2, 1 to E, then 0 to E. Also, at this point too, this to this, this to this, this to this, this to this. You see that? Then at this point also, this to this, this to this, this to this, then this to this. And here also, we do the same thing from here to here, from here to here, and from here to here, from here to here. This is the next step you're going to do. You can see that? Now we want to start working. After you've done this, now I'll mark a point, point A here. A will be my first point because I'm opening from point A here. So we've marked the point A, right? Which is this point A we have here. Now we need AB. So if I assume that, I'll draw a straight line this way from here to here should be what? My AB, depending on what you want to do. So I might say, okay, let my AB be inclined, or I would just virtually use a straight line this way, AB, if I want to. So, or I can easily use my set square and assume that this line here, my AB will fall along this line. Depending on what you want, you can decide to say a straight line or an inclined line. So if I do that with the radius of what? AB here, with the radius of AB here, you can see that I'll come to this point A, so my B is somewhere around here. So this point here where it is will be what? My B. Now what do you notice? We have B to point 0 and A to point 0. So if I'm going from A to point 0, this is not the true length here. The true length is here, A to what? 0. So I'll come here. I'm going to mark from A to 0. I'll come to this point. I'll strike an arc this way. Similarly, B to 0, this is not the true length. The true length is, this is point 0. So from this point here will be from B to 0. I'll come to this point here and I'll mark. So if I place it here, wherever they meet will be my point what? My point 0. So I'm going to join them together. So I can easily tick in here, first of all. Then I will draw this line here, my faint line, like this. So that is my point 0, B to 0. What do you notice? It's at an angle of what? 90 degree. So if you notice it at this point here, 90 degree. So this is angle of what? 90 degree. Now we'll continue. The next thing we'll do here is to move from where? From 0. While I'm doing this, I can use only this point here. I'm dealing with what? From A now, right? I can use this point here and get whatever point I want to get. So if I come here again, I move from 0 to what? To 1. You can see this? 0 to 1, this is point 1 here. I'll come to 0 here. I'll strike an arc this way. See that I can strike it, right? Now that is 0 to what? To 1. 0 to 1. Then the next point is what? B to 1. Now, from B to 1, this is point 1 here. From here, I'll get the true length from B to 1, which is this shape here. I'll place it at B, and I'm going to mark 1. So where it meets here will be point what? Point 1. Is that taken? I'll come again. I'll go from 1 to 2, right? This is 1 to 2 here. I'm going to come to 1, and I'm going to strike a point this way. Now the next one is B to 1. Since I did 1 to 2, now will now be what? B to 2. So this is point 2 here. I'll come here to get the true shape of B to 2 here. You can see that? And I'll come to B. I'll place my line this way, and I'll strike an arc. So where they meet is giving us what? My point 2. The next thing I'll do again will be 2 to 3. That again. So if I come here, I'm going to strike an arc. Then the next one is B to 3. So from B, from this point here to this point here is 3. Right? So we'll measure that very well. It's 3. Then I'll come to B. And I'm going to strike an arc. So where it meets will be point what? Point 3. So I will use my rule and join with faint lines. U to this, U to this, and U to this. This is what we did here. These are the true length here. So I'm using my French curve, and I'm going to join all this arc here. So I'll just join the arc. So let me use my French curve, or better still, I can easily use my hand here to connect the 3 dots together. You can see that? Let me use my hand here so that's do our time. Connect the 3 dots together. Now I want to proceed again. So the next one, we're done with that angle, go to the next one. So B to C. So when I place it from this point here, B to C, right? I'm going to come to B here and I'll strike an arc. So it means that my point C is around this point here. Now the next one I will do again is from C to 3. This is C to 3, right? And when you notice it, this point here is this point here, and this point 3 here, right? So I'm going to take point 3 from here, where I see 3 is this point here. Can see that? So I'll come to point 3 and mark. Where it meets will be my point C. This will be what? My point C. So I use my ruler and I'm going to thicken it from here to here to get my point C. Don't forget, I'll also thicken here too. Now I'll join this to this. Now the next thing I'll do again from 3 to 4. From 3 to 4, right? I'll come to 3. I'm going to strike an arc. Then from C to 4. Now what do you notice? This is C to 4, and look at 4 and 4 on the same point, and 4 and 2 is on the same point also. If I use my meter watch, if I use my set square here, what do you notice? 4 to 4, and my t-square is telling me 4 and 2. That means I need the arc of what? The line of 2. So I'll place it here between this point to 2. You can see that? And I'll come to point C and I'll strike another arc. So that point it meets will be my point 4. I can just easily join it together this way with my hand. You can see that. Now the next one is I can just join from here to here with my faint line. Now the next one I'll do will be 4 to 5. 4 to 5. You can see that? So if I come to 4 to 5, I'll place it at point 4 here. I'll strike another arc this way. Now the next one will now be C to 5. Now what do you notice? 5 and 5, 5 and 1. So I need what? Point 1 here. So I'll come to this point and I'm going to mark point 1 at this point here. So you get logic? So when I come to this point, I'm going to mark at that arc there. So where they meet will be the point what? Point 5. So use my faint line and I'll connect 5 and this point here. So I'm going to connect these two together this way. Now the next thing I'm going to do is from 5 to 6. 5 to what? To 6 here. So I'm going to place it 5 to 6. I'm going to place it at point 5. I'll strike another arc this way. So the next thing is will now be C to 6. What do you notice? 6 and 0 on the same point, and this is the point of 0, and this is the line of 0. So I'll come to this point. I'll take 0 here. I see that? And I'll place it at C. I'll strike another arc. So where it meets will be the point 6. So it means that I'm joining this to this. Now the next one, I'll now connect this point to this point here. You can see that. Now what I'm going to do next will be C to D. So when I take my compass from C here to point D here, I'll come to this point. I'll strike another arc. So that means my D is along this arc here. So what I'll do is, if this is D, I'm doing C to D. So I need what is called what? My D6, right? So if I want to do that, if you notice it, C to D, right? These are on this point. So I need D6. And if you trace it, it's on this point here, point 3. So I'll come to this point. So it means 6 and 3 on the same point here. Then I'll place it at 6. Right? And I'll strike an arc. Because that's what they have in common. C and D have 6 in common. Is that taken? So I'm going to join from there to this point here. Is that taken? And I'll use my faint line to connect this here. This is my point D here. Now the next one is from 6 to 5 from here. 6 to 0.5. 6 to 0.5. I'll come to this point. I'll strike another arc. Right? Then I need D and 5. So if you look at 5 and 1 is on the same point, if you use your meter rule, 5 and 1 is on the same point. And look at the arc of 1. So this is what I'm going to use here. This other line here. So I'll come to 1 here. I'll place it at D. Now strike an arc. So where they meet will be for 5. So I'm going to join these 2 points together here, from here to here, from this point here to here this way. So I'll use my arc. I'll use my free hand and just join these two together. I see that. Now I'll come again. I'm going to take 5 to 4. 5 to 4. You can see that. 5 to 4. Then I'll come to 5. I'll strike another arc. Right? Then I'm looking for D4. And if you look at 4 and 2 on the same point, so that is the line of 2. So this is what I'm going to use here. So here to here is this point here. Right? Then I'll come to point D and I'll strike another arc. Where they meet will be point 4. So since I say it's my point 4, I will connect D to 4. Right? So it means that 5 and 4 is moving on the same point. Now the next one is 4 to 3, this point here. Then I'm going to come to this 4 here. I'm going to strike another arc this way, right? So the next thing is D to 3. Now look at the point line of 3, second one here. You trace it, 3, it's coming down here. So I'll come to this point. I'll take point 3, right? And I'll come at this point and strike another arc. So using my compass, my rule, I'll connect this to this, right? Then I'm going to connect 4, these 2 points here. Can you see that? Now the next thing is getting E now. So DE, the help of this is my DE. I'll place it at this point. My E will be somewhere around here. You see that? Somewhere around here. So let's just take this down a little bit. So my E. So what I would do to get D and E has a point in common, that is 3. So I need E3 or D3. And if you look at it, they are all at this point here. So I'm going to take my compass and take from this point here. And I'll place it here this way. With the help of 3 here, don't forget this is point 3. So I'll place it at this point and I'll strike another arc here. I see that? So they are meeting at this point here. So let's take it to that point. They are meeting. So I'm going to connect it to that point. That will be my point E. To this point here. Point E to this point. That will be my point E. Right? So the next thing I'm going to do is to take from 3 to 2. 3 to 2. Right? Place it at 3 here. You strike an arc. So 2 is around that point. Then E to 2. So if you look at this 2, this is the arc of 2 here. So I'm going to use this other line that have 1, 2. So from here to here, is 1, 2. So place it at E. I'll strike an arc. So where it meets could be my point 2. So that means I'm joining these two together this way. 3 and they're coming together this way. Now use my faint line. I'm going to join from E towards 2 and also from E to this point 2. Now the next one will be 2 to 1, 2 to 1, right? So I'll place it at 2 to get my point 1 around here. So if you look at 2, there are 1 here, this is the line of 1. So I'm going to come from here. I'm going to place it here. So from E, I'll place it at this point and I'll strike at 2. So to get my point 1. So this point here is my point 1 here. So I'm joining this line to this line this way. So I'll connect from here to here my faint line. I see that. Then the last but not the least is from 1 to 0, right? So I'm going to place it at that point. Come to point 1, strike an arc. So this is 0 here. We're having this, right? Because I'm going from 0 to 1. So my point from this point here is this point here, right? And I'll strike it at point E to cut there to get my point 0. So this arc here will be for my point 0. So meaning these two is coming to this, right? And I'm joining this to this. You can see that. Now the next one is the closing point, which is E back to A. We started from A. We're going to end at what? At A. So back to A. So if I place it at E, I'm going to strike an arc somewhere around here, right? Then to get my AO, I told you this is the AO here. This is our AO. So if I place it at this point, that's A0 where it arcs here. Where it arcs there, let me take it down a little bit. Where it arcs there will be my point A. This is my point A, right? So use my faint line to close this up. So I can easily thicken it because it's also what? 90 degree. You can see that. So I can decide to make my hack thicker by using my French curve. Not again, from here we're going here, and then from here we are going here, right? Depending on how you want it. So depending on how you want it. So this is what we have. So this is the development of this square here, right? We call it triangulation method using to develop this. So if you have just know one thing, that this point here is, since it's symmetrical, this point you're seeing is for E, B, C, and D. That's what we use to get all what we have. So everything you see is taken aside from all these eyes here. So I would say that the true size of the triangle is what is found, right? We said in this method, development of the surfaces is divided into numbers of triangles, and these are the numbers of triangles it is divided into, right? Then after we've done that, the true size of the triangle are found. These are the true size of the triangles are found, and they are drawn in order side by side to provide this wonderful pattern you can see. So if you have found this video helpful, Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.